Hello, Michael.
All right, mate.
All right, mate. Uh, I want to talk about women's boxing and Savannah's MMA fight. What do you think to it?
Hmm. It was a good fight, wasn't it? She weren't that good at MMA defence, was she? She was took down time and time and time and time again.
Like a fish out of water, wasn't she?
Now, obviously, I've done a bit of boxing before, and when I did that MMA fight, I just went in the gym and just said, "Look, let me learn how to pretend like how to defend from being took down for
Yeah.
6, 7 weeks." If I was her, she knows she can punch hard. She knows she's gonna have the power to knock these women out with barely any gloves on or whatever, the tiny gloves, isn't there, these MMA gloves? So she knows she can knock this woman out. She absolutely knows if she hits this woman on the chin, she's going knocked out. She don't need to be working on that. She needs to be having 8 weeks in the gym, just saying, "Tell me how to stop this from happening." And it looked to me, well, she's been having 6 months of MMA training, more than that, and it just looked to me as if she hadn't even bothered with it. She was took down every time the woman wanted to get her on the floor. She was on the floor, wasn't she?
Mm.
If she fights anyone decent in MMA, she'll lose. I think, my opinion.
I don't want to see her do it again. I want to see her stick to boxing personally. That's what I want to see. And I don't think she's a perfectionist, Savannah. I don't think she can be happy with that performance. But there isn't really anybody left for her though to fight at boxing, is there really? Because there's no pool of fighters, is there, for women?
My opinion on it is what I said before to you about the women's boxing. The depth of talent is not there. So because Savannah's done it all, she's a world champion, she's done it whatever, and then she had a Mount Everest moment with that fight with Clarissa Shields and lost. She's struggling to deal with that she's lost that fight. So now she's going into a completely different sport to chase it back again because that's the only way to get it back. That's what I think.
Well, she won world title, didn't she, in a different weight class after that fight, didn't she?
Yeah, but you know, so there's nothing. So now she's a two-weight world champion boxer, but her biggest defining moment was a loss. So now she's following the woman across into a different sport, and you know that's what it is. That Clarissa's gone to MMA, so now she's doing it as well. You ask Savannah Marshall if Clarissa Shields hadn't gone to MMA, would she be in MMA? And I reckon the answer's no. She'd be
Mm.
doing it again with her in a boxing ring, wouldn't she? Because they would have had a rematch, wouldn't they, in the boxing? Because it's still a big fight, but I don't know. But that performance in the MMA, it was a decent, entertaining fight because it was low level and she couldn't defend the takedown, could she? But
No.
I don't know. I do like Savannah Marshall. I think she's good laugh and whatever, but I wouldn't be a fan of it if I was her, would you? Well, you said you wouldn't, so.
I'm not. I don't mind watching MMA, but I don't rush home like I do to watch a boxing fight. I'm like, oh, look at
Mm.
that toe down here, fractures on. I don't. I'm not like that for an MMA fight. I'll watch highlights. Do you know what I mean? But
Well, I just did it for a bit of a challenge, I did. But the thing that it taught me is
what?
if, because I was basically chasing around the ring trying to have a big tear up with the guy and he was trying to grab me.
Seen it? Yeah.
In MMA, if one person doesn't want to fight, it's so hard to get a good fight. If they just want to grab hold of you all the time and grab you, even if the one bloke's trying to make a big fight happen, it's harder. I don't know how to explain it. Like in a boxing match, if one bloke wants to tear up, you you're probably going to get a tear up. But in, unless there's a big massive difference in class between them both, where in MMA, if one bloke wants to tear up but the other bloke doesn't want to know and he just wants to grab and wrestle, it's still hard to get a good fight. I think.
Hmm. What did you think
Do you
when
know
you
what
first got in cage, Michael? Where your heart went boom, boom. You know, like when you're having a fight at school at 4:45. So I
I
used
mean?
to
Yeah, I was
get
thinking
your top off 4:45. Your heart's
when
going,
they said meet
hey,
me at the end of school by the gates.
people shouting, scrap, scrap, one poke. We your heart pounding like mad.
Well, there's over 2,000 people in the arena. I was absolutely terrified. I was. It was
Oh yeah.
terrible. Yeah, my arse was going like you've never seen, man. Honestly, I had a pint. I
Never.
downed a pint. Yeah, I downed a pint. One of my mates came up to me, came down, and a few of the lads had got a coach down and whatever. And he came up and he said, "Oh, I'm nervous for you." He says, and he's got a big pint of cider in his hand. He says, "Give us a sip," and I downed it all. I was
All
absolutely
of it.
terrified. Yeah, they're not.
So
I was
that's how you want to
terrified.
read it. What it
I
would
was
be
more
kind
scared.
of.
I was just thinking, like, what if I've got this wrong and he chokes me out in front of all these people? I'm gonna look like a right knob.
To be honest with you, I thought you got stuck in. You were mainly grappling though, wasn't it? Up close for you pressing
Yeah,
Spence, wasn't it?
I was like,
Could you feel that meshing on your back and that when you push it?
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to it, to be fair. But obviously, you've seen the fight. Round one, he got me on the floor, but didn't really do anything. Round two, we were mainly grappling, but I was defending it and negating it quite well. He didn't get me down, did he? Then
No.
I like threw a few big punches at the end of the round, and then round three, I was basically chasing him around the ring like Deontay Wilder. Wasn't I?
You
It
were
was a bit of
knackered
a
after round two, wasn't it?
yeah. So it was a laugh, but like I don't know, man. It was just weird experience, but like. It's a different sport. There's so many things that go through your head. Obviously, I'm only just a novice at it, really, I know, but there's a few things that go around your head. Like, in boxing, there's less mistakes that you can make in boxing because there's only certain things you're doing. They can't kick you, they can't grab you, they can't throw you on the floor, they can't choke you, snap your arm, your leg, whatever. So in boxing, there's only a certain amount of mistakes you can make. In MMA, there might be there's a sport that you're totally not even thinking about that can happen. Like you're boxing, then there's kickboxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and all this. There's like six different sports going on at the same time. So
Mm.
it's so much easier if to make a mistake if you're a low-level fighter at it. If you're an absolute elite guy that's been doing it for 15, 20 years, it'll all just come second nature to you. But if you're a brand new fighter to it, like I am and Savannah Marshall is, it's so easy to make a mistake and lose because it's you've got so much to think about in there at the same time as trying to do it, and you don't even really know how to do it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, mate. I agree wholeheartedly, and you got my respect for getting in there in front of 2,000 people, mate. That takes some.
It was, we were watching it the other day, weren't we, in the pub? Funny.
I was impressed, mate. I was
Yeah,
impressed.
it was.
I could see you were like nervous. I could see, but
Yeah,
after the first 30 seconds, it's gone that, and you just concentrate, don't you?
yeah. Well, you have to, don't you? So,
Well,
but
did
I
coach
was
say
very
to
funny.
you the secret to get through it all is just to relax, try and laugh actually, to bring your nerves down. But it's very hard when there's 2,000 people baying for your blood. A bit like Big Max when he went to York to fight that big travelling dog. Max is daft as a brush. He
Um,
walked straight out there, arena full of travellers, but all baying for his blood. It must have
there's
been,
that video.
eh?
There's that video that I showed you, isn't there? It's the end of round one, and that song comes on, and my coach is in the corner telling me what to do and stuff. And I'm looking around the arena, and there's this Albion song playing. They're playing like some tunes, and they're playing at the West Brom games. So I'm looking around the arena, and there's 2,000 people in this arena, and we've got the song on that they always play at the West Brom games, and I'm just thinking, sod it now. Do you know what I mean? And from round two and round three, I was a lot better than I was in round one, wasn't I? So you just there's a point when you just get past that point and think, oh well, I've done it now. Do you know what I mean? But I think once I got out of round one as well, it was like, okay, it's not as embarrassing now. If I lose now, at least I've done a round. Like, do you know what I mean? Every time you get a bit further and a bit further, like the most embarrassing thing would be to lose in 10 seconds, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. Max had a bit of a nightmare. He was done in 10 seconds, wasn't it? 15 seconds or something. It didn't last long, did it?
yeah,
Hey, listen,
that's fine.
you got to give him his dues. He had a go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How many older people? I was actually thinking about it after the fight, and I was thinking, if I'd have lost in 10 seconds, everyone would have slagged me off and took the mick and sent me messages going, you idiot, and all this. But all the people sending the messages, they wouldn't go in there and do it. So, like, do you care, really?
Now, listen, mate. Half of them that were sending you messages when they go to court for driving while banned, their arseholes are flapping if you think they're going to get 6 months. Nick, what I
Yeah.
mean? So I won't read too much into that. I want to talk about drug
Mm.
testing now, right? And what
Yeah.
do you think, Michael, the answer is at the moment? Because every now and then we're getting, at least one a month pop dirty, and then within a month of that happening, there's all this we're innocent and here's proof and all that. Nobody's ever guilty of this. What do you think the answer is?
I don't know, really. We all say lifetime bans and this and that, and if, but It's just getting worse and worse, isn't it? And the more people have got more money, and the like, 40 years ago, people didn't have PlayStations and laptops and computers, and technology's moving on and on and on. And I watched a thing the other day, like that runner, the one that did the marathon in less than 2 hours, and his shoes would be better than the person who did the marathon 60 years ago, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Everything's evolving and evolving. And the way that the world's going, it ain't going to go backwards, is it? They're just going to keep getting more and more ways to beat drug tests and more new advanced features and everything. And the only way to really stop it, the actual only way to ever stop it from happening is to legalise it all in it and just say, look, get off your nut and do what you want. That's the only way to categorically stop it and make it a level playing field, isn't it? Which I know is not good, but it's true, isn't it? It's dangerous. But other than a lifetime bans, I don't really know the answer to it, to be honest. Either stop it completely and let everybody do what they want so you know it's totally fair, or lifetime. There's no real answer to it, is there? It's just such a weird scenario. Because you've got blokes going around that have absolutely got morals and technically, like, no matter what, would take a drug, and other blokes that don't give a shit, like. Well, if someone fails a drugs test and the boxer gets injured, they should go to prison.
Yeah.
And I think that would put somebody off. Say if somebody did 5 years in jail because they'd hurt somebody in a boxing match, that should put people off, shouldn't it? But then you've got to get that to happen first. Like, it's never a good situation, is it?
Well, if somebody gets hurt, right, in ring and other kid pops dirty, then the shit's going to hit the fan, innit?
Yeah.
Now, if somebody does get hurt and somebody pops dirty, would they even tell us? You know? Would they want that out there? I'd want it out there if I were a family member of the guy hurt, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But then it depends how much money they're going to offer you to shut up about it as well, doesn't it? There's loads of things, I know. There's a price for everything in there in life, to be honest. There
Well,
is.
I want to see something done with it. If this Turkey guy, I mean, they're on about buying boxing now, aren't they, for 5 billion, aren't they?
5 billion for all the companies, yeah, I saw that yesterday or whatever.
We're gonna buy all big dogs out, and all the rest of them, all small, all promoters, all fall into line, won't they? Then that's what's going to
And
happen.
do like a UFC based style thing, innit?
Well, yeah, but will that mean that fighters are going to end up fighting for notes, like them UFC guys?
The only thing that I struggle with that, if, so for example, if he bought the whole of boxing out, which is a good theoretical idea to get the best fights in it. Because the one thing I will say about this Saudi, and I know you get on really well with Carl Froch and all that, and he's saying that the atmosphere is bad. I do totally get that the atmosphere doesn't look very good on the telly. But at the same point, for a British boxing fan, the only other argument for a British boxing fan, every big fight I've ever known since I've been a kid has been in Las Vegas. So they're all at like massive ones, like Hatton fights and whatever. And they're all at 4 o'clock in the morning anyway. Well, at least in the Saudi ones, they're at our time. Do you know what I mean? They're at, like, where you don't have to be up at 5 a.m. watching it.
Yeah.
So that's that one. We are getting the big fights from the Saudi guy that no one's saying, but do you know these fights years ago? For the only way for them to happen would have been that they happened in Vegas anyway, so we wouldn't be going to them anyway because there was all used to be there anyway. So that's the other argument to it. But then when you do watch it on the telly, they are all just sat around the ring looking really boring, and do you know what I mean? It's not nowhere near the same atmosphere. But if you're not going to the fight anyway because it's in Saudi or it would have been in Vegas, does it really make no difference? You're just watching it on the telly anyway, aren't you? And I'd rather have a fight happening with a bad atmosphere than not happening at all. So there is them arguments to it.
And I know it's a level playing field if there's no atmosphere and there's no extra support for one guy over other. But I always think that some fighters, like Usyk, they fight away from home on road all the career, and they need that atmosphere to spur them on. They need people to be against them, and then you have other fighters who they could be in a close fight with some of these guys, but because of the crowd cheering, they're going to give it their own fighter, aren't they? So maybe it might cancel out that. Do you think?
Like Carl Frost, for example, he was a better fighter with a big atmosphere in Nottingham, wasn't he? For sure.
Yeah, look what he did to Bute. Wrote him
Would
off.
he be as good of a fighter in Saudi Arabia? Maybe not.
I I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't know, but we're never going to know now. But in Nottingham, Carl used to feed off the adrenaline of the fans. You know,
Yeah.
he'd always say to me, "Oh, what atmosphere like?" I said, "What?" He said, "Tell me from going out. And we'll get in, minibus, go around Nottingham. Everybody get pissed up and whatever, and then in the afternoon, then you go into arena, don't you? 7:30, and I used to tell him, and he used to buzz off all that. He'd like all that kind of thing. He want to know what were happening, and and well, for me, there should be all they've got to do is sell booze on night for everybody who goes, and then you get more Brits going out there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they just don't do it, though, do they?
Well, they
And the
don't
thing that
like
I'm saying about this
go.
guy buying the boxing, 5 billion. The only thing is, like in the UFC, they've done that. They want. The thing I read, he basically said he wants to do a similar type of thing to the UFC. But the problem is in boxing, there's way more fighters in the divisions than there is in the UFC. So they'd have to have 3 or 4 organisations, wouldn't they? Like the UFC, there's the Cage Warriors, there's the Bellator, there's loads of them. Because in boxing, if they had it that way, if you're ranked about number 50, how the hell are you going to get up the rankings in time? Because there's too many fights.
Yeah, and at the moment, what you've got a lot of people who careers are finished and they're on scrappy for the last 18 months to a year. They're all wanting to make comebacks now because they're smelling this Saudi money, but it's
Scott
false hope.
Fitzgerald.
They're giving people false hope, these Saudis. That's what I personally think. And these young kids that are coming through are not wanting to go test themselves against people at their level because they wanted to protect their own. And that's where the sport's flagging, in my opinion.
Mm.
Because we're not
But,
seeing competitive fights, Michael. That's just how I look at it. But
but he's putting some good ones on, isn't he? That Martin Bacoli v Jared Anderson now, that's coming on, isn't it?
that
Is
is
he
a
putting
good
some?
fight, that.
Yeah. I hope Martin Bacoli loses, I do.
Well, don't you like him?
I'm just fed up of that bloody Billy Nelson telling everybody he'd smash Usyk, smash Joshua, smash Tyson Fury, hammers them all in sparring, no problem at all. He lost to Michael Hunter, for God's sake. Like, you're banging on like he's next coming of Jesus. I'm
Yeah,
just fed up
he
with it
beat
all.
Yoka, he
Like,
beat Yoka, didn't he? Olympic gold medalist, though, Michael, didn't he?
yeah, he's all right, that Bacoli, isn't he? But you're banging on like he's like unbelievable, whatever. I just want him to lose, I do. I just.
Dave Allen says Bacola's fucking amazing. He says
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
he's got amazing.
He did lead. He has lost
And it
already.
comes to Michael Hunter, but we all have bad nights at office. I come here some days and I have a bad day and I'm berserk. Oh, no. So we all, and other days I can come here and be nice as pie. So we all have good days and bad, don't we? Well, I
Yeah.
think that Billy Nelson's going to go into bat, little Billy. He's going to go into bat for his guy, isn't it? He's his trainer, isn't he? But when he had Ricky Burns, he did well for Ricky Burns. Billy Nelson, he did really well with him. So it is what it is. But okay. Conor Benn
Oh,
is
we're
quiet.
on him again.
It's all quiet, isn't it? What are we on now?
Yeah.
2 years since his failed dope test in July. So we're 2 years from first test, and it's not even dealt with, is it? What is that?
I've
Is that
heard,
ever going to get dealt with, Michael?
I've heard he's had a new job. He's so good with his eggs now. He's frying up omelets for someone on the side of the road. Like he's an egg specialist. Now he's 2 years down the line now, and he's never. Basically, the British Boxing Board of Control, whether they've got an issue with his dad, whether they've had whatever, they've put their foot in the sand now and said, no, you ain't fighting in the UK till this is sorted. Eddie Hearn, I think's tried to like have him have a couple of fights in America, take the heat out the situation, come back to the UK. This is how I think it's happened. Anyway, they've took the heat out of the situation, couple of fights in America, come back to the UK and basically offered the board and said, there is a massive fight here between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, what's going to make loads and loads of money. So if you make this situation go away, we'll cut you in on the money, and that's the way around it. So they basically, I think, in a way, have tried to pay the board off not pay the board off, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, sweeten the board up with a massive fight, and they've still said no. That's what my opinion is. Do you know what I mean?
The board up.
No, do you know what I mean? Not sweet, like saying, look, you should let him fight again because he's having this massive fight with Eubank that's going to make millions at Wembley, and the board have still said no. Like, do you know what I mean? Not sweeten him up, but yeah,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean,
get
mate.
round it that way, and they've said no. And now he did never expect that they'd say no because it is 2 years later. But apparently they're still going at it in there, but I don't like talking about him anyway because like his performances since that drug test are so much different to the ones before the drug test. They just are. You look at it on the telly, they are. Like from the day that he had that problem with that Cedric Paynehoud or whatever, and he just dropped 3 times and crying on the microphone saying, boxing's not for me. Now, you can never have a go at somebody for trying boxing, like Campbell Hatton, whatever. If your dad's a multi-millionaire, but Campbell Hatton's rubbish, he is rubbish, isn't he? But like, if your dad's a multi-millionaire, world famous guy, there should be no rule to say that you can't box just because you're not as good as him. Because then nobody would ever do it. Then if the, you know what I mean? If he loves boxing and he wants to do it anyway, fair play to him. But if you're not good enough, you're just not good enough. And Conor Benn was there, getting smashed about by that guy, crying on the microphone. And then 3 fights later, he was absolutely banging people out like he had an hammer in his glove. And everyone was going, oh, I was there on my mate's sofa. Go, bloody hell, he's improved, hasn't he? And it's just laughable, isn't it? Like, it's, and now he's back to can't knock anyone out again.
Well, that's what happens when you've had all your eggs. You end up like Popeye.
It's mad, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's no, it's spinach Popeye eats, isn't it? Not eggs.
Yeah. But, like, you know,
I don't mind spinach, mate. To be honest, I've been eating a lot of that lately. Do you like it?
nah, horrible.
Don't
I'm
like it?
terrible on diet though. I literally, my diet's horrendous. Like I've got here now, the Greg's and 2 bags of crisps and a chocolate bar on the table here next to me.
Have you?
Yeah,
You're not eating good.
I can't. I hate it. I don't really like. It's just boring, isn't it? Like I've got ADHD, I have as well, and I just can't stay disciplined. Like my diet's shocking.
I eat a
But,
lot of Thai food at the moment. I don't have big portions because if I eat too much, it all comes back. 3 or 4 mouths.
mm,
I like Thai food at the moment. It's all
not
veg.
bad, is it? For
It's veg, innit? I like vegetables, don't I? I like to eat clean if I can. If you eat clean, you don't carry much weight. Do you? Obviously, I've been like nearly 29 clemens, and I don't know what I am now because my scales are stuck on kilo. I'm 70.6 kilo. 70 kilo, 0.6 k I am. So whatever that is, I think it's about 11 clem in it. So I'd like to be 12 clem. I'm just having problems getting it on at the moment. What are you, about 14 and a half?
yeah, 14 stone 6 I was yesterday.
So you're a cruiserweight, but you were a super middle last month.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Easy to put it on. I mean, I could put a stone on into a week if I just start eating crap. You know, Nutella, that puts weight on. Get a big
Yeah.
Nutella down. But I just spew that back as well. Eat too
But
much.
when I
A jar of that overnight, and spewed it all up. Ugh.
when
So
I when I diet, when I train and get to the gym and diet a bit like, my version of a diet is like steak and rice or something, not like I don't have much veg in that.
brown
If I
rice.
steak and rice, yeah, or chicken and rice or something like that.
Brown rice is awful, isn't it?
Yeah, awful. But that's what I'd have, and then I cut all the fizzy drinks out and just drink water. That's what I do. So if I do that and go to the gym 5 days in a week, I can lose 6, 7 pound easily in a week, 8 pound,
Can
no
you?
problem. It does fall off me, but it does go on me as well.
Does it? You don't
Yeah.
mess about, do you, lad?
No, what do you mean? Don't do bad with. Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. Roberto Smith at the board. I hope you enjoyed my Jeff Hines interview that's already out there. Pop, pop, bang on that one. What do you think Roberto Smith, after 17 years at the helm of the ship, should retire? Yes or no?
I'm not educated on it enough to know. I don't know who else could take over. You could wish for one thing and get worse.
I'd like to see Julian McGowan get a position there at the board. I think he's got integrity, and I'd
Yeah.
like to see that. And that's what I'd like to see.
So I don't think I could give an educated enough opinion to know the real facts and that. Like the politics vote at the moment, the next bloody election, I don't really know
Are you
who was
voting?
right. I'm on holiday at the time, so no,
I
I'll
don't.
be
I
not
don't.
spending.
I'm not voting. I don't trust any of them. Any of them politicians. Listen, these politicians, all they do when you ask them a question, right? I watch it sometimes. I've got to my mum and dad's. They watch it every single day for hours. You know, House of Commons. They sit there glued to it like that. I walk in and I go, shh, shh, come back in 15 minutes. I'm like, so you know what I'm like. I bounce about and all that, and I sit and watch them. So I sat there a couple of weeks and I watched. There's one guy, I don't know who it was. They're asking questions to this other guy. They stand up, don't they, on either side, around these green leather Chesterfields, or is it red? Anyway, they're firing away. They keep standing up, saying, "My learned friend," and all that. When they ask a question, they're looking for an answer, yes or no, and then they fire back with another one. So it goes on and on and on. Then they all start heckling each other, and then all of a sudden, you're none the wiser. They've not answered anything, have they? So I don't trust politicians. I think majority of them are corrupt. I think what happened with that COVID, where they were all giving it this one at number 10, what is all that about? While everybody else were in a right mess. My mate Frank Smith from Bury, his wife, God rest her soul, she passed away and he wasn't allowed to see her. How bad's that?
Yeah.
Hospital. But yet they were all doing what they were doing. Come on. We were allowed to sit in pubs at a certain distance away from people, but we weren't allowed to see our loved ones in hospital because of this Tory government. Are you telling me they're going to get in again? They've not got a cat in hell's chance. Have you seen polls? They're knackered. Do you think listen? Rishi Sunak's prime minister, but he's not a voted-in prime minister, is he? Same as Boris and that other one, Theresa May. Were they voted in? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
No.
Is that right, eh?
I don't think Theresa May was.
Yeah, well,
I
I'm
don't
not sure about Boris. Theresa May one and Rishi one. I don't think he'll get voted in again. If he does get voted in, like that Sadiq Khan, you dick. What does that say about this country if we've got London Mayor Sadiq Khan and Rishi as Prime Minister? Is it a rigged election? How can these people be getting in? They're taking over. It's a joke. That's how I look at it anyway.
know.
He can't be voted in by the people. That Rishi Sunak can't get voted in by the people. Do you remember when he was going on about petrol prices and how we were going to sort it out? And he managed to pull round in some saloon golf or something. And he went to put petrol in and it was on wrong side, wasn't it? He's never put petrol in his car in his life, that little Lord Fauntleroy, has he? Hey? He don't pump his own big P.
Uh,
You what?
we, we go off on some topics, don't we?
Cares? Freedom of speech, kids. Right. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go see them next door for 5. I don't know what he wants. It's a Porky, can you come see me when you get a moment? So I'm going to go see them next door, see what I can nick out their fridge, because I'm in a nicking mood today. I'm going to nick 50 rolls of sellotape because Christmas is coming, isn't it? No, I aren't. They hide it. And then that's it. It's the weekend. I like Fridays, don't I, Micheal?
Yeah, you're off. Coming down this way, aren't you?
I'm going to that Albert Slosh, is it?
Oh, I told you to go there, didn't
Yeah, Birmingham. So I might have a pint in there. Okie dokie. Well, listen, you take care. All right.
I? Nice one, mate.
And I'll see you when I see you. All right, take care.
I'm off down London, I think, for the weekend.
Yeah, good man. I hope you have a
Yeah.
good time.
Nice one. I'll catch you soon, mate. See you later.
Take care. Bye bye.
Well.
Well, that were Micheal from, I think he lives at Bridge North, is it? Somewhere down south. Anywhere further than Nottingham to me, they're a Cockney. So I hope he has a good weekend. That's it. So hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. I hope you like Pokies International, our sister channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe on there as well. I think it's starting to look a bit flashier than this channel now, that Pokies International. Okie doke. So that's about it. Go on, peace out.